Hey folks, today we're going to talk about the lights on the Jeep, specifically the factory headlights and the fog lights that we get. As a Jeep owner, I think it's safe to admit that the factory lighting setup is poor at best. How I know a few Prius and Focus models have a better factory setup than we do. But you know what really bothers me? It's the lack of respect we get while driving down the road. Nobody flashes you to adjust your lights even when you leave your high beams on. Here I am with a 3.5-inch lift rolling on 37s, and I never get a wink, a hands up to block my lights. They simply roll on like I was never even there. It's time we get that respect back. And in this video, I'm going to show you how we do that.
These are the Off-Road Edition Night Guard LED headlights. The install is going to include the H4 to H13 adapter, the anti-flicker harness, the LED headlight itself, and you'll see it has the dot stamp approval on it. This light will also fit the CJ, TJ, and LJ model Jeeps. And lastly, the LED fog light bulb. For the most part, this entire lighting solution is plug and play. The only exception is going to be hooking up the daytime running lights to the parking light. That red wire that you see there on the LED light, I'll show you how we install that as part of the video. Here are a few specifications of the Night Guard LED headlights. We're first going to need to remove the factory headlights from the Jeep. In order to get access to the headlights, we first need to remove the grille. In order to remove the grille, we first need to remove the 6 pins that are directly underneath the hood on the top of the grille. In order to remove the pin, simply use a small flathead screwdriver or a small pry in order to pop the pin out. After removing the pins, simply pull out the pin housing from the top of the grille. You'll notice now that the top of the grille is loose, but the bottom is still locked in place. All you need to do is give it a firm pull across the bottom of the grille to remove the clips from the housing. Before you completely remove the grille, first you need to remove the lights. Simply turn and pull away from the housing. For headlight removal, you will require a T15 Torx bit. Simply remove the 4 screws around the headlight ring, and then you'll be able to remove the headlight from the mount. Next, you're just going to push up on that red lock to release the connector from the headlight. Now we're going to place together our connectors for our LED headlights. If you live in a location with a lot of snow and salt, I'd recommend spraying some dielectric grease into the mating surfaces of the plugs. This will help prevent some corrosion. As I mentioned earlier, installation of the lights are really plug and play. But first we're going to stage the connection for the daytime running lights before we mount the lights into the housing. Now we simply need to install our cables to the factory light connector. Now you just want to reinstall the headlight ring around the Night Guard LED light. Once you get the trim ring installed, you'll notice that chrome trim ring really stands out against that black headlight. One option I'll probably do later is paint that trim ring black to match the headlight for a full blackout look. As I mentioned earlier, we're going to connect our daytime running lights to the parking lights on the Jeep. On the driver's side, we're going to connect our wire to the white wire with the green stripe, and on the passenger side, we're going to connect our wire to the white wire with the orange stripe. Now we're going to replace our fog lights. Getting access to the fog lights is very simple. All you need to do is push down on that clip and remove the connector from the light. Next, push in on the top and bottom clips on the light and remove from the housing. Now you'll simply connect the LED fog light bulb to the factory light connector. and then reinstall into the housing. Before I completed the install on the driver's side, I took a few shots so you could see the major difference between the Night Guard LED lights and the factory lights. Now, you'll just want to use the same process to install the lights on the other side. Prior to installing the grille back onto the Jeep, you may need to adjust your headlights. In the picture shown, I've identified the screw, which you'll need a T15 Torx bit to adjust in order to get the beam pattern set correctly. Now that both of the ORA Night Guard LED headlights are installed, we're going to begin to put our Jeep back together. Reinstalling the grille is super easy. Once you get the clips back in place on the bottom, you'll simply want to install the pin housings into the top of the grille, and then install the pins into the housing to lock it in place. Be sure to check out their website where you can purchase these lights as well as other off-road lights for your rig at offroadeditions.com.